Hello, I'm Ashley. So today I'm going to be doing my reading for the week of October 14th through the 20th. I've already pulled the cards for the week, and I'm using the same as last week, Energy Oracle, the Rider-Waite Tarot, and Nature's Whispers. So I'll go ahead and get started. I did ask 4 questions. I did set the intention that this message reaches whoever it's meant to reach whenever it's meant to reach them. So if you find this video and it is not the week of October 14th through the 20th, but these messages still resonate for you, then they're for you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. Not everything is going to resonate for everyone. And or not every message is going to resonate for every single person, since it is like a collective reading. So and it is important to remember that paying attention to your own intuition, especially when I hold the cards up, or just kind of clearing your mind and see what comes to you or the messages you receive. Those are what are most important. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. First, I asked, what is the overall energy for the week? And I pulled, which I love these two together, Rest and Rejuvenation with Yin, which is basically like a double message. So our Yin energy is just more of our receptive energy. It's more of our stillness energy. And so that's the overall energy of the week, is to just be in your feminine energy. And actually the energy that's in these cards is, there's a lot of feminine energy in this reading this week. So it's really about it's more about focusing and intention and less about the action. And I know last week we were healing like action and like more of the masculine energy, but this week it's more about being in our feminine energy, setting intentions, and then like raising our vibration. So being in nature, eating good food like earth food, staying really grounded, meditating, yoga, really like taking it easy, resting. I've been needing to rest a lot. I've been sleeping a lot too, and my sleeping schedule's kind of been like I'll sleep for a few hours at night, and then I wake up in the middle of the night, and then I sleep for a few more hours. I don't know. It's kind of, since the new moon, it's been kind of, this new moon energy was kind of different than a regular new moon, I guess. I don't know. It's just a lot of energy, and I feel there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and astrologically there's a lot going on. So like I said, and Venus is in retrograde, and I think I mentioned that last week. So I feel a lot of that energy coming up, like love, and it's really about embodying like the feminine energy and like that Empress energy, and like grounding it into earth and embodying that feminine energy, because our intuition is more like the spiritual realms, like daydreaming almost, but which would be like more like the High Priestess, which is our like feminine energy, but the Empress energy is more of like the embodiment, like the grounding, the earth aspect of our intuition. So it's really about grounding that energy, and it's really important when we're in our feminine energy to stay very grounded and to stay in our bodies, and because we can get very like spacey is the word I want to hear, or I want to say. We can get kind of like lost in our heads, and it can make us feel very anxious, almost like the masculine energy, but in a different way. So it's important to like pull your energy down to the earth. And so with that, I pulled the Chariot, which is about, this card feels really balanced to me, which I also pulled 4 of Wands, and this card is very balanced to me as well. This is about like joy and celebration. So I feel like it's about like embodying this energy when we're in our feminine energy, and embodying this energy. And then this is like, I also feel like director of destiny. So like he's on a mission, it feels like to me. Like he knows what he wants and he's going for it, but it's also not very fast. He's not very fast moving. He's very slow and steady, wins the race kind of guy, it seems like. And I don't know, it just feels really balanced. And I like that the castles are in the background here. So I feel like this is about building a really strong foundation. And it's very yellow in the card. So I just sense the solar plexus chakra, which is about like our value and our power, and recognizing that. And then on this card, very yellow too. And you see the castle on this one too. So this is, and it's like cement, it looks like. So I just feel like this is a very stable foundation. which is great. All right, and then for these cards I pulled, which are perfect for the other cards. So I pulled Seek Beauty, which I really love this card. It's beautiful. So this is about like just seeing the beautiful in the mundane and seeing the magic in the madness and like being where you're at and finding beauty in it. No matter where you're at, no matter what you're going through, no matter what your circumstances look like, you can find beauty in everything. We're surrounded by it. We just have to like seek it out. And I like that she has dandelions. You can't really tell. Like on her head, I don't know. That just says like wishes to me. I hear wishes fulfilled. And so, and it's really important with our feminine energy because that's kind of, it's like our magical energy. And you see here, then I pulled heighten your vitality. So this is about raising your vibration or keeping your vibration high. And she's like holding a crystal ball, like looking into it. And she's like setting intention. That's totally feminine energy to me. And you can see like the rainbow around it. That says magic to me too. And then there's like a bunch of like people dancing and a family and a flying a kite. And there's just a lot going on, but she's like focusing very intently in this card on one thing, which is important because the next set of cards I asked, what are we healing this week? And I pulled strategy, which I hear focus when I see this card right now is to focus. There might be a lot going on or a lot of different things going on in your life, but it's important to focus. And then with that, I pulled walking away. What I feel like, because with other cards that I pulled that I'll share, but I feel like this is like walking away from limiting beliefs, self-limiting beliefs, especially beliefs from childhood and beliefs you've formed about who you are, who you thought you were meant to be, or anything stopping you from like walking through the gate or anything that's like stopping you from. I feel like this is about detaching too and just really releasing and letting go so you can move forward. And with that, I pulled Five of Swords, which I heard right away was like deceit, and you can kind of see that like he kind of took off with all these swords, and those other two guys are kind of like their backs are turned and he's kind of like smirking, and the swords are about the mind, so it could be like a deception. That's just kind of what I hear. So I feel like that walking away is walking away from like lies or any deceitful energy, and we're kind of healing this deceitful energy. And this deceitful energy comes from old beliefs of it just comes from like self-sabotaging, and it comes from I just still feel like there's not a lot of clarity, and so that can kind of leave us confused or anxious, or we're kind of healing that energy, because once we clear out that energy, we walk away from that energy. We embrace and like we're healing this energy too. So Queen of Pentacles, which I feel like has come up a lot, and this is about she's very grounded, a very grounded energy. She's like, because the Pentacles are like the earth, so it's like the Earth Mother, and she's very stable. Her throne there is like made out of cement, and she's admiring this one pentacle that she has. I also feel it's like about appreciation and valuing what you already have, learning to value what you have. And I feel like it comes with like, maybe this is just relevant for me, but I feel like this is also coming up for other people. And the cards that I pulled were be in service and another amplify your positive emotions. So this is another about raising your vibration. But what I feel about these two just go together for me. I'm just seeing like a wanting to be in service and like knowing your value. And so this is being healed and like knowing that like knowing what you have to offer and be of service like into the world and like what you came here for, your mission. I feel like it's also about focusing too. So like coming up with a strategy, focusing on how you can like pursue this, and knowing that like what you have to offer is valuable. And I feel like by like focusing on like all your positive emotions, like focusing on joy. That's what I hear. Focusing on the joy, focusing on like the happiness you feel. And that will really lead to like embodying this energy of like, because this is like abundance, and abundance can be different for everyone. Abundance doesn't always just mean material, like money. Abundance also is like love, and just it can be defined in any way. It's different for each person, I guess. And so it's kind of like figuring out what is abundance to you. and embodying that and being grateful for what you have. I really like this card. More yellow on this card too. So, and it's like the solar plexus chakra. She's kind of holding this right at her solar plexus chakra too. I mean, it's sitting in her lap, but her solar plexus chakra is like right by our belly button. So it's like our center. It's our power center and like really knowing. And I feel like it's really about like focusing, like, cause she's really focused in this photo or in this card, and she's really focused here too. Like almost the same thing. She's focused on this like sphere. Same thing. And this one's too. She's very focused on like the candles and her flame. She's really like, she's not going to blow it out, but maybe she's fanning her flame, fanning her like power. And I just feel like that's what that's about. And walking away from anything that's like walking away from those lies that told you like you can't do this or you're not good enough. Or I feel like this also comes with like ancestral healing and family healing, and because that's what we're healing this week. And I feel like it's about healing our limiting our self-limiting beliefs. So the beliefs we grew up believing about ourselves or our environment, and what it like this too, like could mean like real success. That's what I hear, success. And this could be like our beliefs around success and what we believe success is. Do we believe it's just money, or do we believe it's like embodying like this abundance and being of service? Because that's what it means to me, is like doing my part, like accomplishing my soul mission. I feel really called to my mission and doing what I came here to do. And so I feel like, but there can be things that stop us because we have these voices in our head that tell us, there's no way you can do that, or there's no way you're going to succeed, or there's no way you can make money doing that. Like all these things that come up, and I can speak for myself because those things come up for me. And especially I just grew up very surrounded by like pessimism. So it's really about also like changing our thoughts from like this like pessimism and deceit to like joyful and being grateful and embodying that. And then I feel like when we're in that, you know, we're focusing, we have a plan, we know what we want to do, and we know that we came here to be of service, and like being excited. So then holding that intention of like excitement, like amplifying that excitement in your positive emotions, because that's what I feel like. I feel like there's going to be a lot of excitement, because especially what's coming up, what's hidden to us this week, which I'll get to. And I feel like just I can feel things like moving, and like I'm really excited for my future, and I'm really excited about things that I want to do and things that I want to pursue. And it's really about bringing those ideas, because like in her feminine energy, especially when I'm in my feminine energy, especially when I'm like in my feminine energy, but I'm grounding, so I'm like outside going for a walk, I have like the best ideas, or it keeps you open to like creativity, and then you can start to like come up with a plan to start to actually make the steps forward to embody and to manifest into the physical. So I just feel like there's a lot of excitement. We can kind of like rush forward, but I feel like it's still about being, because the overall energy is clearly feminine energy, be in the stillness, be open to receiving. We're receiving a lot of information from our higher selves, from like our ancestors, from guides and angels, and like there's this like a whole team of people that are really like, especially if you're conscious and you're really in tune to the spiritual realms, like we have so much help right now. I feel so protected. I feel so close, but especially it's October, so the veil is really thin between the earthly realms and the spiritual realm, and so we're really close, and I can feel it definitely, and it's amazing. So I feel really supported there. So it's more about like listening and being supported by our spiritual family. That's what I want to say. Like the family that we can't see, and like our soul family, because we're really receiving, even if we don't. Sometimes like our soul family isn't even incarnated. Sometimes our soul family is passed on. Like I've had even like my family members. I have a grandfather who passed away within the last couple of years, and he is really helpful to me. He started his own business, multiple businesses actually. He's very successful, and so I receive a lot of information from him, and he's really close to me, and I feel really close to the spiritual realms, but also in my feminine energy, and my I try to keep my vibration super high, and I'm just very in tune to that. So then on to, I guess, so it's going to feel like we might want to rush forward, but because we're excited or we can feel things and we're going to feel things. My nose always like itches when I'm like channeling or receiving messages. So excuse me. All right. So just like stay in your feminine energy, but stay grounded and yeah. So next I asked what is going on behind the scenes this week. Sometimes I just get really giggly and which is really good, but it's like I can just really feel close to spirit and like my spirit guides and my angels, they're just very light and funny. Like so when I'm in their energy, I just feel very like very giggly. Okay. All right. So on to my next two cards. I asked what is going on. And sometimes when I ramble, sorry, I'm just hearing this. Sometimes when I ramble, they kind of like intervene. It's like when I go off on a rant, like, okay, pull it back in. All right. So then, asked what's going on behind the scenes this week. And I pulled, which I love these two together, the Temple Path. And that's so funny because I was just speaking about my guides, but these little orbs like represent our spiritual family, our soul family. So they're with you and you're on the right path. So if you need a confirmation, if you feel lost, you are on the right path. And I feel like there's a lot going on in people's like physical worlds. And this is really teaching us to trust our spiritual world and trust that we're on the right path. No matter what we're going through, we're always right where we're meant to be. And then with that, I pulled Door to Romance. So if you're concerned about your romantic life and notice the 33 on this card, I've been seeing 333 a lot, and that's just like a message that like ascended masters are with us. So like I said, and that's perfect that it comes with this. And 2 + 1 is 3, so 333. Oh my goodness, I love that. Oh, thanks for looking out. That's perfect. So I just feel like this is going on behind the scenes is like you're right where you're meant to be, and this is leading to romance. And whatever you're going through is like it's perfect, the cards that it came with. So it came with the Empress, which I had mentioned before, another very yellow card. This is the embodiment of the feminine. So, excuse me. It's about, she's very nurturing. This is like the divine feminine energy. So, which is perfect that it comes with the overall energy is the feminine energy. So it's really about embodying. This is what we're learning to do is embody the divine feminine energy, which is like receptive and still and nurturing and trusts herself. She trusts her intuition. She's very grounded. She's abundant. She knows what she wants. She's very enlightened. Notice the stars on her head there. I really like this card. And she's just like sitting there. She's surrounded by like water. So she's in tune with her emotions. She's in tune. She's everything. She's in tune with her mind. And you can notice the fruit on her dress. She's very fruitful. And yeah, she really knows her power. This is like the divine feminine energy. And with that came the Lovers, which I love that came with the Door to Romance. And I really, this just, so this is what's hidden to us this week. And I think this is like a representation of Venus, and we're in Venus retrograde right now. So, and this, like, she's very in tune to her sexuality and her creativity, and she's just the embodiment of that. And so I feel like that's just like when we embody this, man or woman, we're attracting this, and like we become lovers. Like I also see these two lovers as the masculine and feminine energy within us, and they're being guided by like this angel here. Also more yellow on this card. So the solar plexus chakra is really coming in strong, and I feel like it's really about standing in our power, standing in integrity. I also feel like that's what this card was about, is like where have you like not been in integrity, and where have you been like lying to yourself, lying to others, and just not living from values that you truly have, and living from your values, kind of like taking what isn't yours, or I don't know. or just like leaving people in the dust kind of, or like not giving a shit about anybody else and just very selfish. That's what I hear. Selfish. Yeah. So, then with those two cards, with the Empress and the Lovers, I also pulled Catch Your Breath. So this is all about like grounding yourself. Like I noticed that she's always hugging the tree in this photo. Connecting with trees is very helpful to me. It's really makes me feel safe and grounded. And notice the black butterfly. I just noticed that. But I've seen a couple black butterflies this past summer, and they always represent like transformation or like death. So like a metaphorical death, which would be like our feminine energy. And this month is like the month of death. This is the feminine month, October. So there's just a lot of like I said, the veil is very thin, and so it's like seeing past illusions and like just really seeing past like the lies and the deception, and like really be like, wow, okay. All right, and then with that one, I pulled Love Matters. So I just feel like this is what's going on behind the scenes is I feel this really strongly, like the Temple Path with the door to romance and the Empress and the Lovers. And so I feel like we can feel that very strongly. So it's just about like catching your breath, being still, and focusing on love. And this is also like self-love. And the Empress is all about self-love. She nurtures the heck out of herself. She's very self-sufficient. She's not codependent at all. She takes care of herself. And she is very nurturing. She loves herself. She is like the queen of self-love and self-care. So I feel like that's like what's going on behind the scenes is we're kind of learning how to embody this and be this, so that we don't need or expect it from the lover. All right, and then for I asked what is the advice for this week. This is perfect. Patience with the Sun in reverse, which I think I'm going to read this one actually, and because I think it's about like a stall, or it's like I hear like creative block, which I'm pretty sure that's in a book, but I'm going to read this. Maybe there's an extra message in there really quick. So this is the advice. Okay, I feel like now I know why. So this is like new beginnings. So that's why I think that's why it came with patience, is because there is a new beginning happening, but it's happening in like divine timing, which I'll also explain because I got a card for that too. So reversed, a creative project may be blocked at this time, or you could be feeling your own creativity being stifled in some way. These challenges could be imposed from outer sources, or they could actually be coming from within. Are you standing in your own way, stopping self-expression out of fear or self-doubt? That's what I feel like, because we're healing it this week. It's like standing in your own way from becoming this. If so, it's time to let go of fear and be willing to take a risk. Sorry, that just speaks to me with this card. Time to let go and take a risk, like a leap of faith. The Sun reverse can also indicate a period of time when you find yourself living in the darkness of confusion, lack of direction, or even depression. Reclaim your power, solar plexus, and take back emotional control over your life. Stop focusing on the clouds. Like the sun, the light of your soul shines no matter what difficulty or darkness may be clouding the horizon. Your power and light are always present, able to bring healing and renewal through strong, self-directed choices in any situation. So let go of the doubt, let your creativity come forth, and know that you deserve to shine. That's beautiful. I love that. So that's the advice this week, is like, no matter what you're going through, it's meant to be. Because like what I pulled, like the Temple Path, like even if you're going through dark times or confusion or lack of direction, you're always right where you're meant to be, and it's just about turning on your light and shining that light. And with that, I pulled the Hierophant, which is about, to me, like divine timing, and like being led, and also about like spiritual teaching, or like taking what you've learned from spirit and applying it to your life or teaching other people. So this is the advice, and I feel like it's just like follow your guidance, follow your intuition, follow your whatever you're being guided to do, just follow it, and it's leading to this door to romance, and it's leading to the Lovers, and that's just what I feel. So the Hierophant, and then I pulled 9 of Wands. This is like, I think you may be feeling this way. This is like he just got back from war. Like he has a bandage on his head and he is worn out. He is tired. He like can't fight anymore. He's very like defensive. And he's like, he does kind of look like paranoid. He looks just kind of like worn out, beat up. And I feel like this, you may be feeling this energy, but like that sun card said, like take emotional control back over your life. Amplify your positive emotions. Take a time to rest. That's the message for this week. Rest. And let go of this energy, which is also, this energy kind of reminds me of this energy. Because when we're kind of feeling like exhausted and tired and drained and like we just can't possibly do anymore, like we can kind of just like take this shortcut. That's what I hear, shortcut. And taking a shortcut. And it's not about taking the shortcut. It's about being patient and like recognizing your power and resting and just like focus on your power. So take time to like meditate and like close your eyes and set the intention that you're focusing on your solar plexus chakra and like feel your power there. And you would feel very abundant. You feel very like powerful and very like, while you're doing that, like, cause you're focusing, like you're setting intentions, like you're drawing things towards you. And so it's about learning to like recognize your power. And then with that, I like this because she's like holding this right at her solar plexus chakra, kind of more her sacral chakra, which makes sense because, and all the orange, which would be our sacral chakra, which is all about creativity. So I feel, and it says, let love be your beacon. So, and I feel like passion, so the passion may be guiding you. You may be exhausted, but like let this passion guide you and let this feeling of love guide you. Let it be your light. Because you may be in the darkness, you may be feeling depressed, you may be feeling sad, you may be feeling like things are never going to work out. But it's about reining in and taking power and like just let this love guide you and kind of flow. You're supposed to be flowing right now. Just flow. And with that, I pulled perfect setting. So this also just speaks to me of like the temple path. Like you're right where you're meant to be. And this also speaks to me about creativity. She has like a paintbrush there. She's painting the sunset. She's focusing on the beauty. She's focusing on what she can like create from where she's at right now. So like I said, you might be in a dark time. But it's also like, it's like alchemy. So taking that dark time and like really turning it into light and like recognizing that this dark time or like whatever you've gone through has no power over you unless you give it the power, to have the power over you. And I feel like that's what this, like you could either go this way. And I feel like the advice is just to rest and be in your feminine energy so that you can let go of this. And this is a 9. And I also noticed that this one is a 9 too. And it's funny because this is like a stall of like a new beginning basically. So we're still at the end of a cycle, which would be 9s. 9 is like the completion. 10 would be complete. 1 would be a new beginning. And so I feel like you're right where you're meant to be. It's the perfect setting to kind of like shift everything and kind of like let go of the old and start to embody the new and embody that. Like, for me, I had a moment where it was like, this was just yesterday actually, that like, Spirit was trying to give me something and I was like so close to it, or I wanted a specific thing that like I wasn't seeing what they were giving me. And I just had this moment. I was just out in nature. I was just like soaking up the sun because it's getting really cold here. And I miss the summer and I miss the sun. So when the sun comes out, I just stop and like I bask in it and I just say thank you, And so like I just had this vision of like, I don't have it here. Let me see if I can find it, but it's 4 of Cups. And I just want to show the picture because it's kind of like Spirit's like giving this guy something and he just like has his arms crossed and he's like not accepting it. He's like focused on the 3 other cups. Let's see if I can find it. But anyway, I had a moment where I was like, I finally like realized. I took a step back. I like detached. I was like, and it was the thing they were trying to give me is just like joy, and to like allow myself to. Here it is. To allow myself to feel like renewed and like sometimes when we aren't used to feeling joy, it's not our, like I didn't grow up feeling joy. I didn't grow up feeling optimistic. I didn't grow up like, so those things are foreign to me. So it's sometimes hard for me to like grasp that like I'm allowed to feel joy. That is my actual birthright to feel that way. So here's the 4 cups. See, Spirit's like giving him this cup, and you're just like not satisfied. So I had this moment, and then like after that, I just felt so good, and grounding always helps me have those like epiphanies or those moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was missing that the whole time, you know? So anyway, underneath the deck is, so when we're in that attitude of like exhaustion, or like we're not focusing or we're not appreciating on what we have right here and now. We're like wanting more because we're just tired and we want to be done, you know? We want to get to the end, but there's really never an end. Once you get to another place, there'll be another like battle or another, you'll just see it from a different perspective. And so it won't like take as much out of you because you know that it's not, you're just seeing it from a different perspective. And so it doesn't own you. It's like not happening to you. You know that you created it. And so you created it for a reason. And it was to show you something. And then once you see it from that perspective, then it doesn't make you drained or it doesn't make you tired. You're like, yes, okay. And then everything starts to kind of like fall into place. So underneath the deck was 9 of this is another 9, right? Yeah, 9. Sometimes I have to count. 9 of Pentacles, another very yellow card. The solar plexus chakra and the pentacles that are coming. Well, we only had one other pentacle, but she's very appreciative of everything she has. She's very fruitful. This says to me like gratitude. She's very abundant. She's like, maybe it's a man. I don't know. To me, I imagine it as a woman. Either way, I don't think that really matters. It's just about like, and she's just like surrounded by all this fruit, and she's very happy here. So I feel like it's about the overall energy is like focusing on this energy, the abundance energy. And then underneath, this deck was Community in Reverse, which talks about isolation and feeling lonely and feeling kind of isolated and not feeling like you have a community, feeling very alone. And so I just feel like it's about, it says like it may take some conscious effort on your part to like flip this back around and like create a community. You just might be feeling like disconnected from people you once felt connected to because you're not on the same frequency, and especially as you raise your vibration. And it's okay. Sometimes when you level up, you'll be all alone. But you're never alone, especially when you have like your spirits with you, and like if you have a person that you can communicate with, even if it's not in the physical. So it's not about like, I just feel like some people are feeling like isolated or like they don't have anyone, very alone. So, which I totally understand. I get that. But I've gotten like, I like to have other people, but I also like to be alone a lot and like communicate with spirit and just, yeah. So anyway, underneath this one was Ideal Course of Action. So here's another castle. The castles are just really standing out to me today. And I feel like this is like what we're going for, you know, like creating this castle within, like the king and the queen creating their castle within, and another dandelion, so like wishes, and she's like focused too. She's very focused on this card about where she's going. Like she's very focused. I like that. And she's kind of just, and I like that it's like a river, so she's kind of just flowing. That's more of our feminine energy, and she's just gonna like flow to this castle. She's not going to push or force her way there. She knows what she wants, and she's going to go for it, but she's going to allow spirit to guide her. And that's all I have for this week, I guess. Actually, let me pull one more from, let's pull a couple from Whispers of Love. So, actually, I'm going to do one from Journey of Love, because this was kind of focused on love, and I love these messages, and it's a good way to end the overall reading for the week. I need a bigger desk. I'm running out of room. Okay, so, all right, Spirit, what do we need to know the week of October 14th to the 20th? Overall message for the week. Okay, I pulled Yin Yang Lover. which I love this message. I pulled this just recently too, not that long ago in another reading. So let's read them. Number 8. And 8 is also the number of like abundance. I know this is a number 9, but I don't know. I see abundance when I see this card. So abundance is like the number of, or 8 is the number of abundance. It's also the number of infinity. That's like, to me, the divine masculine and divine feminine working together, like in a flow. The infinity symbol is very flowing. So, the force of attraction is stronger than your conscious control. There is no need to fight this inner genius. You can learn to speak its language instead. What is it that captures you, that pulls you close, that holds so much light for you? Why fight it? Don't step away from what you really love to grab hold of a second prize. Why not claim your first prize? It is there waiting for you. It is yours alone, beloved. No one else can claim your own divine birthright for you. By yielding and let your desires fill your body, your heart, and your mind, you don't have to fight for what is already yours. It will come to you through the field of attraction that emanates from your own heart. It is not a question of worthiness or deservedness. It is not a question of trying to work out what you need or want. Your heart always knows. Listen. If you still can't hear it, then just feel. You'll get the gist of it soon enough. This oracle has a message for you. No matter whether you seem to be heading closer to your goal or further away, you are making real spiritual progress. And what you want is the same thing that is wanting you. What you are seeking is seeking you. It is only a matter of time before you get it. Beautiful. I do feel like that's what's like coming up for a lot of people. It's just like relationships and seeking that like wholeness and within. So, all right, that's all I got for this week. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I will be back next week. Take care.